When I walk on you to the fifth dimension, our only intention is to take you higher. I'm feeling so.
Welcome to the Fresh Mint Podcast, where we are closing the generation gap one conversation at a time. I am Kev Mintz, and my partner on mic number 2 is
Josh Mintz.
Thank you for tuning in. This is an entertaining old school, new school debate.
Again, we welcome you to the Lion's Den. This is episode
Let's get right to it. This is an exciting day.
Yes, it is.
We are at the apex of the NBA season. The finals begin tonight. The Boston Celtics versus the Golden State Warriors in San Francisco.
It's going to be a fun one. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, this matchup is going to be is intriguing. I mean, we're looking at a team with historically two of the best three-point shooters of all time in Steph and Clay. And we have the defensive player of the year on the other side, Marcus Smart. And overall, Boston Celtics are probably one of the top teams in the league in defense.
Yes, they are. This series is very, very interesting. You got a great offensive team of the Golden State Warriors, and you got a great defensive team of the Boston Celtics. Like you say, you got defensive player of the year, Marcus Smart, and you also got second team all defensive, Robert Williams. He's been playing in pain, last year's against Miami Heat.
Right.
But he's been fighting through it, and he's helped the team a lot.
Yes. It's Robert. He gets those block shots.
Yeah.
And then you have I guess the Robert Williams Kevon Looney matchup should be pretty nice.
It's going to be, I'm looking forward to that one too. Cause Robert Williams taller, but they can both rebound. They can both rebound the ball real well.
And then you have Draymond Green versus Al Horford, two great veterans, even though Al hasn't been in this position before. Dre is a big time veteran of the finals, but they're both undersized, and but they're leaders. They're leaders for the team.
One thing about between them two is Al Horford is a good shooter.
Great shooter.
And one thing I like about the Celtics of why they can possibly win the finals is that when Al Horford's on the court, he spreads the floor for them. Right. He can shoot the three, and Draymond, he's a facilitator.
Right.
They leave him open. The defensive team leaves him open.
Right.
To take the shot, but he's looking for his guys and pass the ball off the screen for Steph, Clay, or Jordan Poole.
Oh yes.
Because Draymond is not really a scorer; he's a facilitator. But
so as far as the benches are concerned, I mean, we're looking at. I don't see them going very deep into their benches as in this series, but as far as you see, Poole, I would say Poole,
Otto Porter. You got Gary Payton II.
Oh, he's coming back. That's correct. He's questionable. Is it?
I just got a
update
that he's officially back.
He's officially back. Okay.
And Gary Payton, he's a great defender.
Okay.
A great defender, and but Golden State got a deep bench than the Boston Celtics.
You think they're deeper?
Yeah, Boston, their bench, they only play like 3 or 4 players. Pritchard, Derek White, Grant Williams. He's been playing well in the playoffs.
But they're interchangeable. You could put Derek White at the point. You can move him to shooting guard.
Right.
And he can go to the small forward. Right. And you got Grant can go to the center, power forward, small forward. So that they're a little versatile in the vein of like Poole, he's going to go he can play 3 positions as well.
Right.
And then let's see. Well, Otto does a lot for them as well, so it's going to be interesting. That's why I said this series is going to be intriguing to me.
Right,
it's really intriguing.
I'm looking forward to tonight's game. See how the defenses are. How Boston plays their offense against the Golden State Warriors. Because one thing about Boston when they played against the Miami Heat in the Eastern Conference Finals is that they only had the ball on 2 main guys, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum.
Right.
They most of the times they do a lot of ISO, which that's not going to be a thing to do in the NBA Finals. You have to move the ball, and that's one thing they got to improve on in this Finals is to
Boston is a better team when they actually pass the ball around the horn.
Right.
These ball dominant teams, they've failed in this playoffs with Luka, with Philly with James Harden. He's ball dominant.
Jimmy Butler.
Jimmy Butler was ball dominant. Both teams were able to take these kind of teams out of the series because of this, the lack of movement of the basketball.
Right.
So that's the kind of thing that they have to look out for. Amongst themselves, don't let it become a situation where you're holding on to the ball too long. It's got to move. Mm-hmm. Should be interesting to see, if Tatum and Brown can allow themselves to be free of feeling a commitment to just going ISO.
Right.
You don't want to see them do that.
Yeah, I feel like in the last series, it was a lot of ISO, and I feel like they were like pressured of them scoring because the way Miami's defense was, they were playing a lot of zone. So I feel like against Golden State, I feel like you said, they have a lot of freedom,
right?
With the ball, because Golden State plays a lot of man,
right?
So I feel like they have the freedom of doing ISO in a certain situation, but not all the time, especially in the NBA Finals.
Mm-hmm.
But
now we haven't gotten to we haven't spoken about Andrew Wiggins yet, and the matchup with him or Clay with let's see. I would think that Andrew Wiggins is probably going to spend some time on Jalen. No, well, he could because he can play both positions, but I say he's probably going to spend some time on Jason Tatum.
I agree.
Gary Payton will probably end up at some point in time on Brown or in Tatum, and Klay Thompson is probably going to end up spending some time on each of them as well.
Yes, they're going to switch a lot.
So they're a team that does like to switch. Mm-hmm. They will switch off, and I think that those guys, we haven't said anything too much about them yet, but they're going to be factors in the series. The series is going to be really a up and down series. It's going to be you still have youth, you still everybody can still get up and down the floor, so it's going to be a moving series. I think there's going to be high scoring as well. I mean, I think the offenses will take precedent over the defenses, and so I'm not exactly going to say shootouts, right? But I believe that they will put up some numbers, and then we have to take a breath and say, well, if the refs allow them to play throughout this series, because we've had some interesting officiating throughout the playoffs, and actually the whole season has been an interesting deal with the refs. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun to watch, I believe. We'll make predictions toward the end. We're going to talk a little more about some basketball, and we'll make some predictions toward the end of the segment, and we'll move on now. Now, some of the prognosticators and these fine gentlemen that are, calling games and analyzing games on ESPN, TNT, NBA TV. We have Charles Barkley. What did you think about Chuck's prediction?
He said he likes the Celtics in 6-6. He stated that they're too big and they have more depth.
Now you said that you feel that Golden State has more bench play. Everybody's entitled to their opinion.
Everyone's entitled to their opinion, but in my opinion, I think they do. But size wise, Boston is bigger.
Right.
But,
We have to agree on that.
I agree on Chuck saying they're too big, but I'm gonna have to disagree on what he said about
the depth.
Yeah.
Okay. Stephen A. He likes the Warriors in 7, and that's based on the shooting. He's a Steph Curry fan. He loves Clay. He says these guys will shoot the lights out. He says that the offense is going to be a little bit too formidable, for the Celtics. Now, if it puts pressure on them, Boston is not known to be, crazy 3-point shooting team, but they do put up some threes.
Yeah, they
can put them up.
They can get in a situation where they get hot from 3.
Right.
I think it was Game 4 against Miami. Did
they have a 23-point game?
Yeah, I think it was against Miami in Game 4 or 5.
If you can drop 23 pointers in a game, you got to be known as a 3-point shooting team. All of a sudden, he's saying that they can't match Golden State. Well, we may have to rethink this if they come out with something like that in this series.
Yeah, Marcus Smart, he improving his 3. All the years he's been in the league. Right. Jason Tatum's been shooting the 3 real well. Jaylen Brown.
Right.
You got Al Horford.
Right.
Grant Williams, he's been shooting lights out too.
They are getting it from all different directions and all sides of the court. So.
And then you got in the bench Peyton Pritchard.
Exactly. Out of Oregon.
Right. And Derek White.
Right.
He got traded from the Spurs during the trade deadline.
Right. So they have a team of formidable shooters as well, but they're not known for it like the Splash Brothers. Right. Plus I guess you call pool play. Right. So, but they definitely should be able to hang. You put defense and then add in those threes. I believe that it's going to have something to do, with the flow of this series. Mm-hmm. So so many of these guys are putting out their thoughts on it. JJ Redick, he talked about it today. Jay Williams, I'm watching these guys, and they're making predictions. These are the guys that have NBA experience, but everybody's entitled. Everybody's entitled to what their opinion is, and at the end of this, we're going to make our predictions on Game 1, and then we're going to talk about the series. And now I'd like to take a flip on the script, and let's talk about some Laker news.
Yeah, Darvin Ham being hired as the head coach for the Lakers. What's your thoughts on this?
I was a little leery. But I think Darvin Ham has put in his time as an assistant around the league. He's seemed to have worked pretty hard. He's got a chip under his belt last season with the Milwaukee Bucks. He works with the bigs on their team. He's got Giannis looking good.
Bobby Portis
has been amazing this year. He looked great. Yeah, Brooke has played a lot better when he came back. So, Darvin, he was a hard-nosed player. When he played, he was undersized power forward. He played hard. He dunked hard. So I think that he's going to be good for helping develop, the front line on this team. My concern would be, who he has on his staff. Is Phil Handy going to stay around? How many assistants he's going to bring in of his own? How many are going to stay that were there? So there's some questions on that. I don't know what those answers are yet, but I think the opportunity for him to come in and work with this team is a good one. It's a good one. I mean, in comparison to some of the other guys who have gotten a chance, I think he kind of fits into that role too. Yeah,
I mean, congrats to him.
Yes.
This is a good position for him to be in. Like you say, he has a chip already with the Milwaukee Bucks.
Right.
He's good. He's been working with the bigs, so I think he will help guys like Dwight Howard and Anthony Davis.
Anthony Davis is definitely somebody he's gonna do something to put him on the right track. Hopefully he can stay healthy.
That's what I was about to say.
That's one of the biggest things.
The biggest thing
there.
about the Lakers is they got to stay healthy. You know, last season, the season that's about to end, they didn't make the playoffs or the play-in because of their health.
Health reasons.
They got a good team. Westbrook, had a couple games he struggled in, but he's had a couple games he played well.
Right.
But is most important is being healthy. Health is the most important thing in the league.
Yeah, that's the question I had. What are they going to do with Russ?
Right.
Is he going to, fit into the program that, Darvin brings in? He's going to have some ideas of his own or what he would like to do with the team. He's going to try to reshape the team in his image. Now, question number one, will the Lakers allow him to do that? Right. Or are they going to, make him a babysitter?
Mm-hmm.
So Darvin needs an opportunity, and I'm sure they, he had meetings before he accepted the job, or they accepted him as their new leader. That he wanted to know where he was going to stand on these things. So I mean, is Russ going to be on the ball if he stays? Are they going to try to trade Russ during the summer? And could be a big question.
Yeah, it's definitely a big question.
Big question there as well. Health, Russ, Darvin, the Lakers.
Lakers overall. My thing I'm concerned is, like you said, are they going to let Darvin Ham do what he has to do as a coach?
Right.
Not Bron or AD arguing or frustrated about the style of play Darvin Ham does. Now, we don't know what his style of play is. We have to see, once the season starts.
Right.
What he likes to do. Does he like to move the ball a lot? Does he,
want to power it down or whatever, right?
Right.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting. I'm wishing him the best.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I do want to say, he's got one as a player with the Detroit Pistons back in the day. I think it was 2004.
Mm-hmm.
He's got one as an assistant coach. He's got another chip there with the Bucks, and it's going to be interesting to see how he moves the needle on the Lakers.
Right.
But now we have a milestone here in the NBA with Darvin being hired with the Lakers. The NBA is now 50% filled with African-American coaches.
Wow.
15 teams have an African-American head coach.
Wow.
Out of 30. So that's an interesting thing.
That's an interesting.
More power to the people.
Right.
Yeah. That's a blessing. That's a blessing. I think it's been about time for that. We were headed in that direction once before. We have proven as coaches that we can get some wins. We've had a number of coaches of the year who were ceremoniously let go after they actually won, those awards.
Right.
But this is a new day. Let's moving them up into the front offices now too. Let's get that to 50%.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know, so we can sell another flag. You know, so that's a good thing. So I'm glad that Darvin got the job. Let's see, you know, how it goes, and if these guys can get it together out there in LA and become a factor in the new season 22-23. You know, so I want to move on a little bit, and something else just came up recently. NBA news where during the playoffs, the Pelicans did very well. They made themselves known in the playoffs this year.
They played well against the Phoenix Suns. You know, it could have been a game 7 as well.
That was a back and forth.
I feel like the addition of CJ McCollum was a big move.
Very big.
You know, him and Brandon Ingram play a similar type of game.
Right.
And, you know, guys like Jose Alvarado, Grand Theft Alvarado.
Grand Theft Alvarado.
You know, his story, you know.
Christ the King,
Brooklyn, New York. Shout out to New York. Shout out to Brooklyn. Yeah, you know, him being undrafted.
Right.
And then from being undrafted to getting a full contract was a big thing for him, you know.
Right.
A good defensive player as a guard. You know, he annoyed Chris Paul in the playoffs.
Oh, did he?
I
think he knows his name now.
Yeah, I think he knows his name as well.
I think he knows his name. You know, that just goes to show, you know, young players that you don't have to go through the draft. You don't. There's always a route. There's always another route.
It's always a route
to get into the league and to show what you can do.
Mm-hmm.
And you know that there's an old cliche: if you play it well, if you do your thing, they will find you. It's the truth.
If you work hard in your game,
exactly.
You just got to work hard in your game.
You know, so yeah, with Zion, who wasn't able to play
the whole season,
he was out the whole season with an injury. Zion has been cleared now to
work out,
resume, you know, full contact and work out with the team and do his thing. You know, he's been putting up videos of
him dunking and stuff.
Yeah, 360s in between the legs.
Yeah.
You know, showing these dunks off.
Yeah.
But what I think a lot of people want to see is Zion get his weight down.
Yeah, you know, NBA is a fast-paced game. And you can't really be heavy like how Zion is. You know, as much as how high he jumps and how fast he runs up the court.
And a lot of torque in some of those moves he makes.
A lot of torque.
We've seen injuries come from that kind of torque.
Yes.
You know, and at his weight, you know, I'm not a stickler for it normally. I mean, because of Charles Barkley, you know, but even he knew coming into the league at 300, he had to get his weight down to be a really effective player, to become a star in the league.
Right.
You know, he said that Moses Malone took him under his wing and he was able to, you know, get it together 10 pounds at a time. Right. And so I think that, you know, if anybody should know, you know, Charles would know. And he's, you know, imploring this young man to do the same. So, but Zion missed the whole year. He has 1 year left on his rookie contract, and he's eligible to sign his extension. There's a big question: is should the New Orleans Pelicans give him that extension of I believe it's $186 million, or should it be based on incentives, health incentives?
Yeah, I'm a little concerned about that. In my opinion, I feel like they shouldn't give him that money because he didn't even play the whole season. He didn't even play one game of the season. He didn't even play the preseason.
Right.
So I don't think he deserved to get that much amount of money on his contract.
Well, I mean,
based off what he played in the 2021 season, he played well. You know, he was an all-star.
right.
But
Now everybody wants their bag.
of course,
Everybody wants their
but
bag.
at the same time, you have to earn your bag.
Correct.
If it depends on how well you play in the season.
Right.
So maybe he deserve it based off what he did last season.
Okay. So
It's a question mark.
no, but how about if they put health incentives in the contract and still say, okay, we're going to give you X amount, and if you get, you can stay healthy through the, let's say the All-Star break, you can add on, another piece of it.
They can do that.
And if you make it to the end of the season, we'll add on another piece to it. And then if you get us into the playoffs, which they more than likely, New Orleans is going to make the playoffs again this year, even though we know the West is going to be tough. They will be back into the playoffs, I believe, with the talent they have on that team. Those young guys were coming up as well.
Yeah,
that's what they started with.
You got cats like Herbert Jones was also undrafted. He played well. Trey Murphy out of Virginia, he shot the ball well for them.
Right.
And Larry Nance. Larry Nance played well as the big man, and Valanciunas.
Right.
So I feel like, once Zion comes back healthy and all those guys are healthy,
they're a playoff contender.
Right. People got to watch out for the Pelicans.
Right. So now if he can get them, back into that situation they were in this past season, give him all his bag, and the extension could be his with some, incentives. Right. Now, if he breaks down again, they protected themselves.
Right. Right. And, I believe he can stay healthy.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, he should also work on his shooting.
Right.
And not use that much torque of going to the basket.
Right.
And also, you got to give credit to Willie Green.
Great job. He
did a great job for that squad. They started, I believe, 0-12,
right.
0-16 the season.
Uh-huh.
They came back with a decent record. Not a good record, but they made the play-in. They played a unhealthy Los Angeles Clippers team.
Right.
They beat them in their home court. But they played well against Phoenix, and you gotta give Willie Green credit.
He did a great job.
Him being an assistant coach last season with the Phoenix Suns,
right.
As they made the finals playing against Milwaukee, he did well as assistant coach.
Okay.
I feel like he took a couple tips from Monty Williams and brought into his stuff with this Pelicans team. And I feel like, he's going to be a good coach in the league and help this Pelicans team get to the playoffs every season.
Okay. That's great. So listen, we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back with our predictions for these finals. Stand by. This is episode 1. We're coming to the conclusion, and we're going to make our predictions right now for this series with Boston Celtics and the Golden State Warriors. Who you got
for Game 1? This is a trick one. This is two dog teams.
Yeah.
But for Game 1, I got Golden State. They got the home court advantage. They got the energy in their arena. So I got Golden State winning Game 1. I believe this is going to go to a Game 7. And I got the Celtics in 7.
Okay.
The Celtics, the last 2 Game 7s they played very well. Especially when they played against the defending champs, the Milwaukee Bucks, in their home court. And they beat the Miami Heat in Miami.
Correct.
So, they play well on the road, and they're not afraid to play in a game 7.
Right.
So I got the Celtics in 4. I got the Celtics in 7, and they're gonna win by 4.
Oh man. Okay. Okay. Sounds decent.
What's your thoughts and predictions?
I like the C's. But I think that for game 1 in San Fran, Golden State's well rested, energized by Peyton back on the floor.
Yes.
I think that they are former champions who want to show the Celtics how it's done.
Right.
So I think they're going to come out with a focus and try to lead the way. And I believe that the Warriors will take game 1. It should be in double figures. I would say maybe by 12.
Figures.
Yeah,
Wow.
the first game. Just game 1.
Okay.
Just game 1. And then I think there'll be some bounce back games, and some games might be flipped on the home court. They will
I believe
probably flip a couple of these games.
Right. I feel like Boston could probably win a game in double figures.
Right.
And I think some of these games are gonna be in overtime.
Well, I'm going with a 7-game series, and I believe game 7 will end in an overtime with the Warriors taking the title.
Okay. So as you see, guys, the father got the Warriors in 7 in overtime, and the son got Celtics in 7, winning by 4.
Okay. Well, we can't agree on everything. I think, we have some things that we like, and we have some things that we don't. And that's probably what this is all about.
Mm-hmm.
And
But it's all love at the end, man.
It's all love. It's always all love. And, we just want to have some fun and enjoy, some of these situations, and we're going to get back to you in the coming weeks with more episodes. And let's see what happens tonight. We probably only have a little while longer before this game is about to start. So, it's time. We want to thank you for coming to the Lion's Den and taking the time to listen to the episode.
Be a part of our old school versus new school debate.
Leave a comment on an old school topic
Or a new school one. Or just your thoughts on the episode.
Peace, love, dove.
And blessings to everybody.
Yeah, so don't change with the weather. My mind warps and bends, most of the way it counts to 10. It's happening